G'day Whovians and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while, but Doctor Who is finally back on our screens. And with new Doctor Who means new Who review. And believe me, I'm very excited to jump back into some new episode reviews here on my channel. For the brand new series of Doctor Who, both episodes 1 and 2 were released at the same time, so for this episode of Who Review, it'll be a double whammy as I'll be discussing Space Babies and the Devil's Chord. Before I jump into my review, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and just a little heads up that this video will contain spoilers from episode 1 and episode 2.
Spoilers.
So, Whovians of all ages, get ready and welcome back to Who Review. So let's start off with episode 1, Space Babies. So when the title of the series opener was revealed, I wasn't too keen. It sounded very silly. However, as the weeks went on, I thought, maybe it'll be another really fun Russell T Davies series opener, like New Earth or Partners in Crime. So was it a fun series opener? For me, yes and no. Mainly no. I felt rather let down by this story. If anything, I felt really bored while watching it. There were a few good moments here and there, but overall I thought it was lacking that punch of adventure. The biggest highlight for me in this story was the chemistry between Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. I thought they did such an amazing job of introducing this brand new series. I thought that they were brilliant together, and their chemistry, like the Church on Ruby Road, was phenomenal. They bounced off of each other really, really well. One thing that I thought seemed really, really odd and honestly quite rushed, I guess, was the fact that within the first, 5 or 10 minutes of the episode, the Doctor just word vomited to Ruby all about Gallifrey and his people suffering genocide and things like that. Like they had practically just met. And it felt really strange. It was strange because in the past we've had companions trying to get answers out of the Doctor about Gallifrey and about the Time Lords, for example Martha and the 10th Doctor, and the Doctor's always been quite, very private and very, I don't know what the word I'm thinking of is, but he's been very private about it, and to have the Doctor now just kind of tell her everything all at once, it seemed really, really strange to me. And of course this episode, well, not just this episode, but this entire series has been heavily advertised as a jumping on point for new fans, for people who had never seen the show before. But I feel like this huge word vomit from the Doctor feels like way too much information being thrown at you at once. It just feels like new fans are being overloaded with this dramatic backstory all at once. I wish that all this information between the Doctor and Ruby, all this information that he shared with Ruby, was kind of spread out across the series or across at least 2 or 3 episodes. Like I said, it just felt like a lot in this one moment. The idea of babies in space was an interesting concept, I guess. However, I thought that it just didn't work. It just fell flat for me. The boogeyman as the monster of this episode, I thought looked fantastic. I thought it looked really, really cool, really scary, really terrifying. However, I thought that this was a waste of such a good looking villain and such an awesome villain that could have been so much more. It could have been so much better, and it should have been so much better. Overall, this story felt very much like a filler episode for me. It didn't feel like the first episode of a brand new era of a brand new series of Doctor Who. Because this brand new series is being marketed as a jumping on point for new fans, for new people to the show, I felt like this series opener should have been so much better. Space Babies, 5 out of 10. Now on to episode 2, The Devil's Chord. The idea of a Beatles themed episode of Doctor Who, yes please, I love the Beatles. However, did this story deliver? Very much like Space Babies, yes and no. However, this story, mainly yes rather than no. Look, Don't get me wrong, this story wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but it was good. I did enjoy a lot of it. I thought it was much better than Space Babies. For so long, it was heavily rumoured that this story was going to be a full-blown musical, like Doctor Who the musical. But those rumours were wrong. I mean, yeah, there was one full-blown musical number right at the end, but apart from that, I think that was pretty much it. I don't mind a musical, however, I really didn't want a full-blown musical episode of Doctor Who, full of musical numbers and people just bursting into song. However, after seeing the story, I don't know, it's really weird. I was kind of let down that we didn't get some proper musical numbers. It's so weird, like I don't really know what to think about it. The overall story of this episode wasn't terrible, it was a bit iffy, it was okay, but like I said, not horrible. It could have been a lot stronger. But I thought that the costumes, the set design, the music, all worked really, really well. It was all really well done. Now I have to mention again the chemistry between the Doctor and Ruby. I love these two together. They, again in this episode, they were on fire. They were incredible. And I think throughout this season, in all my reviews, I'm going to be mentioning their chemistry a lot because I love watching these two on screen together. They are fantastic. Now on to Jinx Monsoon. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Well look, this villain was good. Not great, just good. They were very over the top. Like, I didn't mind it at first, but it became very tiring and just slightly annoying. One thing I really did like though, I thought it was really, really cool, was the fact that Maestro used sort of musical notes, I guess, as weaponry. I thought that was really, really cool. It looked great and it made for some really cool fight scenes between the Doctor and Ruby and Maestro. The ending of this story felt very rushed, unfortunately, and it just felt like Maestro was defeated way too easily. One thing I did notice was that at the end of Space Babies, the Doctor and Ruby went back and saw Ruby's family, and we didn't really see a resolution to this ending of episode 1. It would have been great to have episode 2 kind of pick up directly from that and see the consequences of the Doctor landing in Ruby's mother's kitchen and basically destroying her roof. However, in the Devils Chord, it was also mentioned that a few months had passed since episode 1. So I feel like we missed a lot of adventures in between then. I don't know, that felt very strange, but I tell you what, Big Finish Productions is going to love that opportunity. I also really loved that the Doctor and Ruby had a full-blown conversation about the first ever episode of Doctor Who, An Unearthly Child from 1963. That was a really sweet moment, and of course the Doctor bringing up his granddaughter and explaining Susan to Ruby as well. So is that Russell T Davies hinting that Susan could be coming back? God, I hope so. But this was a great little moment for classic Doctor Who fans, a nice little reference, and I really liked this. So our first historical story of this brand new era of Doctor Who. I would have liked some more appearances from the Beatles themselves, but that's okay. We had a lot of great action, a lot of great heartwarming moments as well. I thought this story was good. The Devils Chord, 7 out of 10. Next week, Stephen Moffat is back with a story titled Boom. The synopsis for this story sounds very, very intriguing, and I feel like we're going to get a classic Moffat story, and honestly, fingers crossed that this beats the first 2 episodes and that this season just keeps getting better and better. But what did you think of the first 2 episodes of the brand new season? Let me know in the comments down below.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Whovian Commonly YouTube channel. Cool.